Good morning, Williams Lake. My name is Steve Forseth, and I'm here to announce today that I'll be seeking a seat on Williams Lake City Council this November. As many of you know and have read my blog, I've had serious concerns on various matters appearing before council and disagreements, and I think it's time for a fresh change and a positive change at City Hall. People who know what they're doing and have the experience to make the right decisions on behalf of the public. As a candidate, I offer my 7 years experience chairing or vice chairing the city's advisory planning commission. As well, I offer my experience of observing Williams Lake City Council since 2001, the Kerry Regional District Board since 2004, and also Cornell Council since 2006. I'm just going to cut to the chase here, folks. I have 4 key campaign goals. Here's a copy of my press release right here. I will have that press release or a link to my press release below the video so you can view it for yourself and decide if I'm worthy of your vote. My 4 key campaign goals effectively are: Williams Lake City Hall will be more customer service friendly, and it will have more it'll be more open and more accountable than we've seen as of late. I will be requesting City Council to change the current budgeting process to line by line. I think the days of just perpetual tax increases must come to an end. We can no longer squeeze more money out of Alva Rock, which is effectively where I think we are. I think we need to resolve the issue around Caribou Lodge and putting it in seniors' hands once and for all. And finally, I think Scout Island needs to be resolved. I think that previous councils haven't necessarily focused too much on Scout Island, and I think the next council should, because it should be a crown jewel. So if I could, I'd like to just capitalize on my 4 key points. So basically on City Hall in general, I think there's been a, shall we say, a degrading of letting the community know where we're at with respect to council meetings, when they're being held, if they're being cancelled, when they're going in camera, that sort of thing. So if I'm elected, one of the first things I do is make sure that when we council meetings, they're posted on the bulletin board at City Hall, that they're put online, that they're put on Facebook and Twitter, and finally, that we make use of traditional tools like the newspaper, just to make sure people know that when there's a council meeting, don't show up. Because I've been told that the last council meeting on August 16th, people showed up for that meeting even though I knew personally it was cancelled. People who do not have access to computers, like I do, and many others, those people, and typically your average senior is not a computer-friendly individual, they showed up and find the doors open and no council members, no staff. That's just plain not acceptable. You need to let people know what's going on. And in camera business, I've done a little research, and the city of Castlegar actually has quite a neat model that I like to emulate if I'm given the opportunity to serve as a city councilor. And basically what Castlegar does is, instead of the traditional in-camera meeting notice, which has been sorely lacking under Mayor Cook and council's leadership, they basically take a piece of paper like this and list all the agenda items to be brought before council behind closed doors. I think absolutely people have a right to know what's going on behind closed doors. As well, I want to confirm, if I'm elected, my blog will continue. People will see what your council's been up to. At the end of the meeting, you can go to Caribou Politics, that's CARIBOO dot, or excuse me, CARIBOO POLITICS dot BLOGSPOT williamslake.com, and people will see what council decided at the regular meetings. If I voted no, I will tell you, the voter, why I voted no, and then I'll ultimately be judged by you, my reader, whether I was right or I was wrong. And that will also apply to the Committee of the Whole Council and also Joint Committee. And if I am privileged enough to become the next Care Regional District Director for Williams Lake or the alternate, that rule also apply. People need to know what their local governments are up to. I will also be putting on my blog, and I will push Williams Lake Council for this, although I don't know if it will be successful, but I will give it my best shot. I want people to know how much we're costing in terms of travel and other expenses that we're allowed to claim either locally or when we're attending conferences. But short of that, I will put that information on my blog, and it will be specific. It will say I put in for a cell phone bill. I will say how much it is. I will attempt as much as possible to put the originals online so that you can view it for yourself. Totally uncensored. I won't try and hide anything. And also let people know what meetings are up for. Which, while I'm on the topic, if I am elected as Williams Lake City Councillor, and if I get the privilege of being the CRD Director for Williams Lake, I give my commitment to the people of Williams Lake that I will not claim per diem to attend a Williams Lake, a Caribou Regional District Board meeting. I think when the meetings are in Williams Lake, and if you enjoy what you're doing, it should be free. And I'm certainly prepared to offer that and to take a pay cut because I love going to the CRD board meetings. So I'm willing to do that just for you. And I'm sure there'll be other topics coming up as far as open, transparent government that I haven't thought of, but other candidates may. On the process of the budgeting process at City Hall, I think it's time we had a change there too. Firstly, as I just indicated, I will be pushing council to go from the current process, which is direction to staff for a certain percent tax increase, to a line-by-line analysis. Instead of the what I call quasi-closed door process, where people don't even know that council's meeting to discuss the budget. It would be in council chambers, and unless it relates to labor or some other reason that the community charter says we can have closed door meetings, those budget meetings will be held in public. And like the City of Quesnel, our initial budget meeting, I want you, the voter, to come to us and to say, where can we cut? Where do you want cuts? Where do you want service enhancements? This is your budget, so tell us what you want to do. So we'll do that, have the initial public input. People can tell us what they want or don't want. Then we will basically try and work through that input and staff's input. And at the end of the day, there is the mandatory public input as far as the 5-year financial plan budget goes. And that will be an opportunity to say, did we get it right? Did your input find its way into our budget? And if it doesn't, what kind of other tweakings can we do to make sure that the budget reflects the priorities of the community at large? So that will do. With respect to Caribou Lodge, I've made it no secret that, and ditto for Councillor Rather and a few others, that I believe Caribou Lodge, both from a planning perspective and a moral perspective, ought to be for seniors. So I give my commitment that when elected, the task force currently underway will be thanked for their work, and I will work with council and community to develop a rapid-fire 90-day action plan to ensure that we turn that facility into a place for seniors. Obviously, I think it's premature for me to say what kind of facility I want, but primarily the goal is for a facility where seniors can enjoy their golden years. So I give that commitment to you as a voter, and as a candidate. And as far as Poplar Glade Elementary site goes, I think that's a site that we need to look at. It's no secret that we do have some housing challenges in the city, and I'd like to work with the various stakeholders in the housing community to ensure that that site's used to its maximum potential. And I think one option that should be on the table should be the kind of housing we see down at Glendale Place in Glendale there. And as I say, I will work community, including the school board, because it is owned by the school board right now, but the school board is in a unique position because they aren't really allowed to sell if that property is surplus, and I believe it is. They haven't mentioned putting another school there. School board is actually required to consult with the nearest local government, in this case the city of Williams Lake, to see if they want to acquire the property before they're able to talk to Victoria about disposing of said property. So I think there's an opportunity to take a look at that property and see what the highest and best use of that property is. Obviously, anything relating to indoor turf facility, I don't think we could put anything like that there, mainly because of parking challenges along 11th Avenue and the laneway that runs perpendicular to the property in question. And finally, we need to sit down as a community and develop a 10-year plan for Scout Island and the surrounding lake. I've heard numerous times from members of the community that they think Scout Island could be much more if we had a strategic plan and the city and the Kerry Regional District put its money where its mouth is with respect to Scout Island. So if or when elected, I fully intend to call council to call all the various stakeholders together. That's field naturalists, that is Williams Lake City Council members, that is the directors, Kerry Regional District directors for electoral areas D, E, and F, and whoever else who has a stake in Scout Island's future, to come together and develop a 10-year plan, a visionary plan, to ensure that Scout Island becomes what it potentially can be, and that is ground jewel not only for Williams Lake but also the Central Caribou area, both for our own residents and tourists. I'd like to wrap this up by kind of just stating what experience I offer. Firstly, I've been chair of the then Health Advisory Committee for 1 year. I've been either chair or vice chair of the City's Advisory Planning Commission since 2004 until the end of August. I stepped down to ensure that that particular body, the APC, stays nonpartisan. Right now I'm finishing my 3-year term as chair of the Kerry Regional District's Advisory Planning Commission. I also give you 10 years experience observing city council meetings in Williams Lake, and also 7 years experience observing the Kerry Regional District. And in those years I have developed extensive contacts with city staff, and the goals that I've offered up to you, plus whatever other issues you deliver to me, I think will serve you well. And for the record, I will not be endorsing any councillor candidate or mayoralty candidate, except to say, on the subject of the mayor's race, I think most people know how I feel about Mayor Cook. But hopefully, notwithstanding that, people will look at Kerry Cook, Scott Nelson, and Walt Cobb and their campaigns and their promises and decide for themselves who is best fit to serve and lead. I know what I'll be looking for as I go into the booth, just like you will be, in voting for your next council. I thank you for observing this video, and if you have any questions at any time, I welcome hearing from you. My email address is sforseth000@hotmail.com. My blog address again, caribou, cariboupolitics.blogspot.com. And my cell phone number, I can be contacted 24/7 at any time, is 250-267-6725. I look forward to the campaign ahead. I look forward to talking to you this fall about your issues in your city. Thank you.